Hello, welcome. My name is Candice. I am coming to you live from the Passionate Home in downtown Langley BC. And we had some technical difficulties. We're a couple minutes late, but that's given you all time to catch on. Alrighty. So, first of all, I want to say a huge thank you out to the IOD sisters. Last month, I did a sweet Mother's Day photo collage, and they just shared it onto their YouTube page. So I'm super excited about that, and hopefully it'll inspire some of you to make that. If you didn't see it, go check it out. So again, I'm here in Langley BC, the Passionate Home, and today we are going to rescue and upcycle and make beautiful this sweet vintage piece. I'll tell you the story about it as we go. But when I'm doing a large piece, I like to get an idea of it in my head, and I happen to have this piece of wood that is virtually the same size. So just to give myself a little visual of what I'm expecting to the base to look like. So I've done this. So that's just a little hint. And when it's done, I can turn this into a welcome sign for my front porch or something like that. So that's going to give me a visual. I'm going to set it there just in case. It's a twofer, just in case I need a refresher in my mind. So we are going to be using the branches stamp. So mine's all cut up and wonky. We are going to be using some bits from Millet's Pages. There's so much goodness in here. We're going to use some mushrooms because I love them. We are going to be doing the Hidden Hollows doors for our fairy door at the bottom here. We're going to be using some of these sweet little creatures from Dewdrop Pond. And most times when I do my lives for you, I use the air dry clay. And today I thought I would show you using the resin. So I've got a bunch pre-made. One of the things I love about the resin is that I can have pieces pre-made, and then when I'm ready to do a project, I just have things lying around. Okay, I can, if I needed to have some movement in these, because they do dry very hard and flat. If I needed movement, then I could heat it up with a heat gun and put it wherever I want it, but we can't do that. Can't open the doors. All right, so you know. So I thought I'm just going to, the other really, really cool thing, we got stuff everywhere, people, but, so we're going to start here. These all have measurements on here. So they're really great if you are using the
molds,
resin,
the resin,
because it tells you exactly how much you need to make. Now, I'm crazy, and I will just generally mix some up, and then any extra I pour extra bits. So I always have bits and pieces around. I don't waste anything. But when I did do the fairy door, I did look at those measurements because I wanted to make sure I had enough, first of all, to do those. All right. So when I do measurements, I actually like to use a scale, and I set my piece ready to go on there.
Who's used resin, if you can hear me? Has anybody else used the resin on
Let me
a
find a
mold?
stick.
I could have worn a mic.
You could have. You guys,
Wow.
we're figuring this stuff out. So there's two sides. I have bought these little toppers. They're amazing because, every time before I would try to do this and have issues. So we're gonna go for. I'm just gonna do about. I'm gonna do about 10 of each. Okay.
Hello, Doris from Sweden.
Hi, Doris. Thanks for watching. So one of these is quite a bit more liquefied than the other. So normally I do the other one first. But right, so I'm just measuring it out. And when I get close to, because I know I'm going for 10. There we go. And then I can stop, fold that up. That one is done. And now I'm just going to hit this and reset at 0. Okay, so now I know I just need to come up to 10 again. It's kind of a really easy way to do this. All right, and here we go.
Oh, hello from South Africa.
Well, I think that's our first from South Africa. 8. We're getting close. Oops, there we go. So this is how I find it's just the easiest to get those perfect measurements. The older I get, the older my eyes get, and and it just, I can't see measurements. So here we go. So we know that's ready. I'm going to give this a stir. It's cloudy right now, and as it comes together, it just needs about 30 seconds or so, and it'll get clear. So cloudy, it's going to go clear, and then I know I'm ready to pour.
Wow.
And these little silicone things are amazing because it just makes for super easy cleanup. And again, I'm using the amazing casting resin that dries in about 10 minutes time, and it's going to turn white, so I know that it's ready to go. And I think we're going to do this guy here because I don't have one of him yet. Okay, so I'm just pouring it in there. I'm not worried that I have some cornstarch from when I used the clay. It's not going to bother me. I'm just using my little stick to get it right into all of those little details. And look at that, it just flows right in. Perfect. And then we're going to get, we probably have enough for this dragonfly here.
That's amazing.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you will find when you are using the amazing casting resin that it cures in the deep spots first, which seems like weird because you'd think the little narrow bits would go first, but it actually is curing from the heat. All right. So there we go. That's ready to go. I'm just going to set that aside. It's in his tail. I think so. So we're just going to pop that off to the side, and as it starts to cure, we're going to keep you posted. Okay? So we have that one curing there. We have things everywhere. Hope I don't drop that.
Is a little different
today. A little different today. So we're going to start with our branches. Okay? So I want my fairy door to come here, and I want it to be beside a beautiful branch. So we're going to start with that, and mine are already cut out. And I have my ink pad. Here we go. Okay, so my ink, inked up with the black ink from Iron Orchid Designs. It's an archival ink, so once it's dry, it's going to be permanent. It's amazing. And I lay my stamp on a flat surface, and then I'm going to tap my ink right on top. Alrighty. So here we go. I like to store them upside down. It just helps to keep the juiciness right where I want it. Okay, so I'm going to go approximately, right there. So working on a surface like this is a little trickier because I do have these edges where my
the drawers are.
Where the drawers are.
Right.
So I'm going to work this bottom piece first, making sure it's all there, and then I'm going to just squish that in.
Hello, Alabama. Amy.
Hello, Alabama.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not too worried.
I was just wondering, should we have done this laying down? Like having the thing laying down?
I thought it would be too difficult to do it for the
film it.
live.
Yeah.
If I was
But
doing
if
this
you were
at home,
doing it at home,
100%.
maybe,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Okay, so where it doesn't quite line up, I'm not even worried about it because I'm going to paint right in there. Okay? So we've got that one. I need my wet wipe.
You kind of create a tree with these branches.
Totally.
Right? Or,
Yeah. So
Reminds
here we
me
go.
of my grapevines at home. They're all twisted and going everywhere.
Exactly. Okay, so there we go. We're going to go with this one next, and we're just building it. So this piece, I told you that there's a bit of a story behind it. So one of our customers came in, and they're downsizing, and they just couldn't keep everything. But they told us this story that actually this was a wedding present, and that I think her father, what was it, Carrie? Her father built it for her. Yeah.
So I love it when the pieces have history.
Right?
I'm
And
from Virginia.
hi, Virginia. And that she wanted somebody to honor that, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's
Hopefully
pretty cool.
she'll be pleased with what we're doing.
I think she will. Okay. I think this is what I did. When you sort of So again, I'm just getting this bottom area down there first, and then working my way up. If it has a little tiny bit of a blur or a smudge, I can just paint right over top of that
too, to
and
make it
sand
look a
it.
little more.
100%.
Yeah.
So again, if I was doing this at home in my studio space, I would be lying it down. But these drawers pop inside as well, so there we go. It's all building, okay?
Hello, Alabama. We got people all over the world today.
It's so amazing.
From Western, I'm going to say Kentucky.
All right.
Yeah, Jackie.
All right, so now I feel like let's just add some more whimsy to this. I think we're gonna have one here. I know that these, I don't want to have my birds sitting on these. We're gonna bring some birds in. You didn't know that.
Birds.
Spoiler alert. So we are
To the end.
we are going to be using a bunch of things, and we'll talk about that as well. But let's just keep going here. Right? You got to see the precursor.
Somehow, there's lots of new ones.
Somehow. Oh, you don't know what I'm doing. I'm creating a beautiful whimsical. So this piece is, think of the possibilities with this. You could totally do your craft supplies. You've got a little pull-out here. This could be sweet in a little girl's bedroom. This could be a cute little, I think I want it here. A cute little jewelry. Yeah, so it's just such a lovely little piece. There we go.
I love that, what you're doing.
There we go. Okay, so we're just building it up.
It's like a spring cherry blossom.
Yes. Oh, just you wait. Just you wait till we put that inlay in there. So many things happening today. So normally I don't have quite as many avenues. Maybe I do. I think maybe I say I don't, and I'm like, how much can I fit into 45 minutes? So let's just do this one here. So I didn't ink the whole area. I'm just adding on. And we could even do another little leaf there. Let's just do it. Where's my wipe? So, ooh, that was close. Cleaning off what I don't need. And I'm just going to re-ink that little leaf there. And let's see if I can just, where was I going to add it? Right there. Here we go. Love it. Yeah.
Love it.
I feel like I need a little something here coming off of that one as well. And maybe, let's see, which one are we going to use here? I could use the same one again, but I think we might just pull this one. It's got a little bit of a different pattern going on it, but I think it's sweet.
Is that from the same
It
stamp?
is. Yes, it is. It comes with almost like a rope vine sort of stamp in there as well. And for this piece, I didn't use that, but did I go right off the edge? I did. So we're gonna just come right from here and go right on over and off. So in here, I'm just gonna add some paint. You're not even gonna notice. I could come in with a little bit of black paint as well if I wanted to. Not super worried. And maybe down there. All right. Here we go. So we got our stamping out of the way for that.
So the first thing you did was paint this piece, right? It was natural wood.
It was. The whole piece looked like this, and I did what I'm calling a bit of an ombre. And I did a really simple ombre. Like a lot of people think, oh, an ombre, that's really scary. I got my dark green here. I have a really soft blue, and I had some white. And I just actually slapped some paint on, and then what becomes, what helps you to really work it together is a mister bottle. So I did my green down here. I started my blue up here. I misted, and then I just ran the two together. And then I missed it again and just ran so that it blended beautifully. There's some spots that are heavier than others. I like that. When it does get distressed back later, it's going to change it all over again, right? So it really does. You don't see the brush strokes. And then often at the end, I'll give it a light mist, and with a dry paintbrush, a really soft dry paintbrush, just go over the whole thing and blend it. So if my paintbrush gets too wet, I'll dry it off on a paper towel and keep going. All right.
Joy from Calgary.
Hi, Joy. Alrighty. So let's just look here and see how this is starting to cure for us as well, right? So you can see where it's really thin, it hasn't cured yet, right? These are, yeah, so where it's thicker, the heat has cured it faster. So we're just going to tuck this under here because I already have some of those ready. I don't really need to do them. Okay, let's tuck this aside. We've got our stamps done. You know me, I love some vintage textures, so chances are we're going to use some of that later as well. All right, so the next thing that I want to do is I'm just going to grab a small paintbrush and I'm just going to get into all of this detail with a little bit of color. And then we're going to get onto our inlay, but I just want to get some of that happening first. Should I? Yeah, going to. Okay. It's always that sort of what step is next, right? Okay, so I'm just going to just get a thinner paintbrush and just a wee bit of paint. I don't need a lot. I almost want it to be very watercolory, right? So I'm just going to come in here and just follow these lines. Am I worrying that I'm exactly perfect? Not at all. Okay? It's just a wiggly little bit of color. Right in here, I can just kind of pretend that that's there, right? Your eye isn't drawn to the perfection. Your eye. So when the girls came in and saw this this morning, she's like, "Did you freehand that?" And that's what this just gives it, that sort of, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm amazing. All right. Alrighty, here we go. Let's get this.
That is amazing.
Right?
Yeah, you can just add water to that.
Yeah.
Chalk paint and
yeah. Just makes it like watercolor. There we go. And I am not an artist, and I can't draw, but you don't need to be when you have these products that make you look amazing. Well, I'm pretty amazing, but you know, not gonna lie. I hear crickets from Carrie. Crickets. Alrighty. So here we go. My little shaky hand.
looks really great.
Isn't it fun? Yeah. We're going to just pull this here.
Pull out your sound.
There we go. So right now I'm quiet because I'm concentrating. So we've just got some really basic color on there, and it doesn't matter that I've gone really close or not gone really close, right? It just looks super cute. So
people can see it's not perfect.
It's not perfect. I don't want that green. I want a little bit of a bright green because the next step is to, so again, this could be actually more watery so that you can still see those details behind there, right? And because it is an archival ink, it's not bleeding everywhere. It dries really quite quickly.
It looks so beautiful, Candice.
Thank you.
Yes. What do you guys think? Wow. And really, you could do this on a piece of furniture or a piece of wood for a sign. Or,
anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got some little bits of our base happening there. And now we're going to come in, and this part is so fun. I'm so excited. So I want to, I'm going to blow dry it quickly or just heat set it. And I'm going to come in and put some, just like a sealer. So I'm going to lacquer because I want to use the paint inlays. Okay. So today is really about, we have all these bits and pieces. So we did a gorgeous, dresser with the rose chintz paint inlay. It was fabulous, and we had like a half of a page left over, and you don't throw anything away, and you know your brain sort of thinks, oh, I don't have a piece of furniture that's going to fit. We're just going to have some fun with this, and it's going to be amazing. So we're going to make this seem like these are coming right off of our bush here. Alrighty, so I'm just going to hit it quickly with a little bit just to make sure it's dry. And then I am going to go over the whole piece with my lacquer because I don't want there to be a difference in sheen, okay? So just want to make sure that this is set.
No questions today. Usually
no
there's
questions.
So many questions. People are just watching.
So if I was doing the paint inlay just into a solid color of paint, or maybe a color underneath and the secondary color on top, I would just put a fresh coat of paint over top of this and lay my paint inlay into that wet paint. But because I have an ombre going on and I have all this beautiful detail, if I were to come in with my paint, I'm going to mess it up. So that's where a lacquer can come in. So it's just a clear, it's something for it to stick into and to transfer into, and it's not going to destroy my previous. So I know that I am going to just do the whole thing really quickly because we do want that sheen to be the same. And so
Barb says, just coming in, did you use the stem stamp?
So yeah, yes, branches. We'll make sure in the comments the actual correct.
The name of it?
Yeah.
I thought it was branches.
I thought it was branches too, but you know.
We'll check.
Yeah. It's not sprigs, so I think it's called branches. Because sprigs is the one with the cute little florals, the spring flowers on there. Yeah. So I'm not really doing a whole lot down here with the inlay, but what I am going to do is put some of those transfers there. And when I've sealed it, those transfers, when that's wet, they're just going to stick really quickly. Okay, a little bit easier for us. There we go. Okay, so we're getting up to where I'm going to start putting my first bit of the inlay.
Now, if you've never done this in lacquer, this is amazing, so you'll want to.
It's so the thing with doing it in lacquer is you don't have the same, you don't need it to dry as fully as if I was to do it into just fresh chalk paint. If it was in chalk paint, I could walk away and come back a week later, mist it, and we're good to go. But I do find that when I'm doing it into the lacquer, so I do want to make sure I have enough lacquer on my space so that it has something to stick to.
Jill is asking, did you use paint or ink for your stamping?
For my stamping, I used the ink. I used Iron Orchid's black ink for the stamping. But you could use paint, and I believe I'm going to use paint later. So I'm just getting some of these on there. I'm going to get a couple on. That one might be a little bit too big. Let's go here. And again, I'm just working with the colors, right? The colors that are in here is what I've added. And here we go. Let's just go this way. And getting it in. So you'll notice that I'm not pushing out to all of those edges. I find that when you cut the the inlays on the paper, and then you lay it flat with those cut edges into your paint or whatever it is that you're laying it into, you do see all of those edges, and I don't love that. Now you can come back and sand them off, but so I just try to, for the most part, just push into where the image is, not right to those edges. Okay.
If you're using the lacquer instead of paint, can you still use your paint inlay more than once?
You can. So if you, Shannon from Pickin' Boots, she did a really great video showing back to back. And in fact, when I did my mock-up, the first batch I did, and then I reused them a second time. So yes, you can. I think play with what you have, because I think that sometimes, depending on your product, right? So try it. Try something like this where you've got all these lots of little bits. Just give it a try and see how it works for your particular piece. There we go. There. How are we doing for time? Lots to do. This is what I always thought, you know, how much am I going to get done? All right. Or do I want this over here maybe? That's where we're going to put this one. Make sure we get it everywhere. So no questions. Okay, I have a question. What is everyone's favorite paint inlay? I know what mine is, hands down. I mean, I love them all. They're super, super amazing. I've recently done, what is the one that I just did? The La Chasse on a piece. On the dresser. Oh, you guys, it is so, so beautiful. And, but my favorite for sure, I'm going to say, is Melange. It's just, there's just so much that you can do with it. And, yeah. I do want to make sure I have enough of this underneath for it to stick into. I'm also going for that little bit of a rusticy sort of look, so it's not like it has to be perfectly in there. Oops. Yeah. Okay. So making sure that's there.
Until you see these come off.
I know, that's always the fun. And we're going to put one more up here, and then we'll move along.
Lori says her favorite paint inlay is the newest one.
The newest one. So, the newest one.
Well, I wonder.
I don't know. Is she one of the yeah.
Melange. Somebody also loves Melange. She's from Florida.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Nancy.
Thanks, Nancy. Yeah. There's just the thing with the Melange. First of all, if you are just starting out and you've never used it before, it has so many pieces, and they truly work together. So if you're doing a big piece or you just want to get started trying something, it's really great. Okay, here we go. I hope I have enough behind there. Maybe not down here. So again, I'm just putting this into a lacquer so that I can keep all the beautiful detail in my paint job. And there we go. And then we want to.
I'm focusing on your nose, Candice.
Oh,
sorry about that.
Do I have a cute nose?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So again, it's now wet. I'm pushing it right into the substrate, and I'm just going to give it a quick little try to tuck that. Still trying to only go where the image is, so that I don't get too much of that other. But not too worried. Okay, so that is going to dry. We don't need that to dry fully. Have I done? I haven't, so I better finish that first, right? Because I don't want the sheen to be different. I'm just going to make sure that this whole piece has a little bit of the lacquer.
Are you using a gloss or matte lacquer?
So this one is a matte lacquer, but to be fair, I think it's much more satin than matte, because it still has a gloss going on. And I am going to, at the end, because I want to grunge it up a little bit, I will be waxing. So that is going to, even though it's a little bit shinier than maybe I would like for this particular piece, depending on the look you're going for, but because I'm going to be doing that later, it will dull it down a wee bit, and I'm going to be using some dark wax as well.
Nancy says, when you say lacquer, are you referring to clear coat?
Yes, a clear coat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, lots of different.
IOD stamps and molds. Yes.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Where are you located though? Because seriously, as much as we love for you to buy from us, if you're local, come and do that. But if you're not, find a stockist near you. Go to ironorchiddesigns.com, because there will be somebody in your neighborhood or close enough that you can go in and you can touch the things and you can get their feedback and their help along the way. All right, that would be my suggestion.
She lives in Virginia, so
yeah, so Virginia, I'm sure there's somebody out there. All right, so we want to get some paint onto our beautiful things here. All right,
haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it. I've got paint colors everywhere. I like to add a little bit of water.
Fairy door. Have you guys seen this before?
So I'm just going to get in here. Again, I'm not worrying about being perfect, but even look at all the details in here, and wait till later. You're going to be like amazeballs, because, you know, it all comes together. It all comes together. I don't mind that I'm going over top of some of these, because the next color is going to come in there. Okay. I do find sometimes there's so much detail that if you add just a splash of water, it gets it into there. And I'm going for a nice light look on this door anyway. But look at the detail in here, you guys. It is so amazing. Okay, so got some of that going on right into my edges. There we go. I'm going to come in now with some sort of brick red kind of color and get into my bricks. So these fairy door molds, they have, this one has the brick, they have other types of stone. Where is that mold? It's just tucking under here. Look at all of the fun on these. They're all different, they're all individual. They're all amazing. Yeah, super cool. And the amount of detail is just shocking, actually.
That's how I felt the other day when I was doing the image transfer, the toile.
Yes.
The detail.
Yeah.
That
Tiny.
they do is insane.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So here we go. Getting all my colors in there. Not worrying about being perfect. Perfect. Who needs perfect, right? There we go.
There's times when I think I do.
Yeah.
You got to work it out.
Right.
I don't know what to focus on because I can't really show you guys. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I
I know some of this is the little bits. I like to when I have a lot of detail like this, and which is why I did this with the resin, so that I can really pre-paint much of it here before I get it on here, so that it's not going to ruin that background as well. Okay, so making sure this is on here. We're going to go check in with our inlays pretty soon here because it is in the lacquer. Okay, so there we go. I've got some over here. We're going to go in with some green. I don't know if you can see, and I have my glasses on because seriously, the detail in all of this, like if you look closely, look at those little rows. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. They're like tiny, and they have all the little grooves and everything. And so I want to, do it justice. So if I come in now with this right up here. So this is where it's a little bit tedious for you guys watching, so I apologize. Right? I have so many pieces that I wanted to do and paint, but you know what? In the end, we'll definitely have a photograph of all of it coming together. But so this green is very similar to the green inside of our inlay there. So I'm just tying things together, right? Yeah. Tying it together so it makes sense. Nice and bright. There we go. And some of this, look, if I just pounce on top, it's going to hit those top bits and pick up all that detail as well. I don't mind that there's some white showing through in there because it's giving me the dimension. And in fact, over here where there's nothing, I'm going to add bits of green so it's like it's a little bit mossy, right?
I was gonna say,
yeah.
Great idea.
So, here we go.
Knock, knock, knock.
I know. You ever wonder what's going to come out of there? I know. Alrighty. So, we've got our base on there. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of heat just to dry it. And I might check our inlays now, and then this can finish drying. I want to bring in a little bit of the pink that we saw up there, so we're tying it all together.
Jackie says, when is the new release happening?
I don't know that, just soon. I don't know if it's actually allowed to say when yet. So, soon. Soon, Jackie. Soon and very soon. Okay, so I'm going to pull these off. My lacquer is fairly dry, and I want to make sure that my paper isn't going to stick. So I'm actually going to wet that whole surface for a second. I'm going to dab off the extra. And this is where the magic happens. Are you ready, Carrie? Mm-hmm. So look at that. I love that it's a little bit chippy, because it looks like it's been around for a while. Look at that.
Beautiful.
So I don't throw these away. They can be reused.
Wow.
Okay. And again, no, I wanted to see if you could see. You can't see those hard edges because I didn't push all the way. Okay. Here comes the next one. Ready?
Okay, yeah.
Ta-da! So much fun. So much fun.
I really love the use of rose chintz cut up like this.
I do too. It's so whimsical and just, yeah, the whole Victorian and, alrighty. There we go. So that one didn't stick as well. I probably wasn't all the way in there, but that's okay. I don't mind. It's the greenery.
I love this. And we try inlays like this.
Yeah. I think it's a really, really great way to start because
In smaller bits.
in small bits.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
your first time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
here we
scared.
go.
I figured Barb.
Yeah.
I know.
Here we go. Look, look, look.
Yeah, okay.
Look at how pretty. So again, that upper piece didn't stick. My bird's going to be there anyway.
That's beautiful, though.
And that would be because that's user error. So you can see here. Come in here. I'm going to show you this. Look at this. So you can see that edge where it has pulled off a little bit different. When I come back later and wax or even just slightly distress, I can just blend that in. So it really, that does not worry me at all. Alrighty?
Wow, I'm going to step back so you guys can kind of see where we're at.
All right, so now we're going to, this is going to be coming here. Actually, we could probably glue that. I'm going to blow dry this first so we can start doing the transfers. And then I'm going to quick pop my hot glue gun on. So normally if I was doing this at home again or not in front of a camera, I would be laying this on its back. And then when I glue my fairy door and other bits and bobs, which we won't get to today because time, then it's just going to stick. So I'm going to still use a thick white glue, but I'm going to add just a couple dabs of hot glue just to make sure it's going to be on there. Okay? But we want to make sure that this is dry because I want my transfers to stick to it.
Linda says she's so happy she's catching you live.
Yay! Thanks, Linda. I know it's one of those things, you know, I watch a lot of the creators as well. I just love, everyone is so different, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of this whole community. But it's a little bit sad when I don't get to see them live, and but you know what, we try to always go back, and if you have comments to respond and make sure you're being heard as well, even from a replay. All right. A little bit wet inside of there, but that's not going to be a problem. I think this one should have been lower. So we'll see, because I want my 4 birds on that one.
Oh. Well, change it up a bit. You never know.
Yeah, we're gonna give her a try. Okay, so the birds. There are so many transfers that have birds. So we do a lot of workshops here, and people pick and choose, and things are all out. And then I just went, okay, so what birds do we just have already pre-cut out, left over from something else? Some of them were from Christmas transfers. I think Whispering Willows might be. This one, of course, is from, oh, that's going to work there. Huh. This one, of course, is from, I can't think of it right now. It'll come back.
Anybody.
Yeah, everyone will know this one. It's with the beautiful lady on it.
Oh, brocante.
Brocante, thank you. You know when you have, yeah. So that just happened. Right? As I said, somebody will know. Okay, so
if you've never used an image transfer before, you're going to be like...
So we're actually going to act as if this little branch here is a branch coming off so that we don't disturb the birds. And look at how this is going to be so pretty.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I'm going to put it. We're going to commit to that. And then, so when you get an inlay, they come with sticks. Thank you. They come with these little sticks in your kit, and it's just super easy. You're just going to rub it on. Oops, that's where my knob is going to go. So
you know
here
what
we
knobs
go.
would look nice? Are
What
those
ones?
little gold birds.
Oh, or the bees.
Or the bees, yeah.
Okay, so you saw what I just did there. Went right into that groove. I'll show you in a second. And then before I go to manipulate the drawers, I'll just take an X-Acto knife and make sure that that is fully secured there. Okay, so let's see. So here, I don't know if you saw that, but that little piece wasn't sticking when I pulled it. And then I just go back and make sure it's stuck down. Oops, see his little head? And it might be that I haven't quite had it fully dry. It could be user error. Lovely, look at that. Wow. Look at how lovely. And then I will come with a soft cloth and just make sure that it has full adhesion. And right over there, that's where I'm gonna end up cutting my little hole. There you go, look at that. Look at how beautiful. Yeah. All right, so we've got that one down there. Beautiful. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. Kind of the mother load over there. Let me see what we have. I want this little wee one up here. I think he's adorable. So let's go up there first because I know who doesn't love chickadees? Chickadees and the little roses. So pretty. All right. There he is. He's like...
Doris, I just love it. It's time for me to try. Absolutely.
Yes. Do it. It really is. Do it. Oh, did you see how that just popped on like nobody's business?
No.
So.
And there it is.
And there it is. I didn't even have to do anything.
One.
Yeah, he's adorable. Yeah. So again, I just want to make sure it's got good adhesion. So the reason that just stuck so quickly is because I lacquered it first. So I put the sealer on. So when you're using a chalk paint, I don't always use the sealer first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you don't have to, but it does certainly over a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
I'm going to take my glass. Yeah, over a little bit.
So it does certainly stick easier. Okay, so look at that, just like.
So stinking cute, Nancy says.
Thank you.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh, how come mine don't come off that easy? Come on.
Probably because often we don't do the whole pre-lacquer thing.
No, clearly.
Yeah.
You know what I love though is that this is the bird is very bright and clear, and then your image, your paint inlay, is very faded and yeah.
Do we add this guy? I don't think so. Yeah. Okay, we're going to go there. Alrighty.
You guys, how gorgeous.
But I do want this up here. So again, this is from Brocante as well. And I'm kind of toying with the idea. We won't get it done today, of course, because of time. But I kind of like the idea of that.
Oh.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Well, we're not going to do it now.
Actually.
Wondered about balance. Once we get this and some things down here, I wondered if it needed a bit of balance up there, but we'll see.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because you do have, it goes from left to right to left to, I don't think you're going to need it.
Okay. Is that fairly...
Let me see. I don't have my, I think it's good. That's just higher.
We're calling it. We're calling it. Okay. Are you getting the back side of me again? Sorry.
No, it was kind of a cool look. It was like just out of the corner.
There you go. I don't know what it is, but a little bit of topography always makes me happy.
Yeah.
So here we go. A little piece there. Alrighty. Oh, we missed the little eye. So again, see those little bits. Of course, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to put it on, but I could. Well, I will just to show it, right? Don't be scared of it. That's the important lesson here. Okay. Ooh, is that paint? Let's make sure that's on there. All right, so I want to put little bits of mushrooms down here as well before we stuff everywhere. Before we go to gluing our little fairy door on. So we've got one there. I love these ones here. This one is so full of, it's like chock-a-block full of things.
I love this one too.
Right?
Yeah.
So many options. I feel like, I want this one maybe.
It's not overwhelming because there's so that you can just cut a little piece. That's it.
Yeah, again.
That's all you want.
Yeah. Or you could do like a whole page of it, and that's gorgeous too.
That would be gorgeous.
Okay, so I do want some mushrooms coming in front of my tree here. And I definitely want some, my sticks. I did bring like a whole ton of them because you know me. I lose things all the time. So let's get this little guy on here. Okay, he's there. I'll come back and rub him in a second.
Amazing.
And then let's think about where my door is going to go. I think I like it right about there. And I do want some mushrooms. I'm going to break that mushroom up right in between. You know, the technical tool.
Your fingernail.
Yeah, sometimes. There we go.
That's what a good manicure's for.
Right? You got a good nail guy. And I do. Although it's so funny because I'm like, oh yeah. Sometimes I go in and my nails are like a hot mess. And he's like, yeah, I know, you paint every day. Yep, I do. All right. We could bring some flowers in too, but I like a little bit of that overlap. Maybe I'll leave this side and I'll pop some flowers later. And maybe, I don't know. Let's just add one more here. And then we can still layer. That's the other thing is you can layer with these guys, right? You know what I need to do is I need to get the hot glue gun plugged in. There we go. Alrighty. So I'm sneaking across and disconnecting this one. I'm just going to connect this because, you know, I don't want to blow a fuse up here. That wouldn't be good. Alright. It's warm. So we've had like really weird weather and suddenly it's gotten quite hot here. And we're not complaining, but it's definitely warm in my rosy cheeks. I always have rosy cheeks by the end of it. Okay, so while that is heating up, and I'm going to glue this little guy here, I'm going to do a little bit more as we go, but I just want to show a few little steps, and then when it's done, we'll make sure that you see all of it. So I want to add, again, to tie this in, I want some bits of this beautiful pink, and that's going to be some of my flowers. And all I've done is I've just tipped my paintbrush, and I can even double dip it. And then I'm just going to go in and just randomly put some roses.
Ah, that's a good tip. Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be exactly where there might be roses. I'm just kind of tipping in. Mm-hmm. And I like to have a little bit of both. Right, so it's not just one color. There we go, a little bit here, a little bit here, some up here, and here we go, a little bit more, and just tucking them in. So it's just bringing some of that together. And up close, no one's staring at this that closely to say, oh, that's not exactly, right?
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Very fun. Yeah, love it. Okay, so that one's good. It's going to take just a second to dry. We're not too worried. My hot glue gun is heating up. But I also wanted to add, so I use vintage textures. I'm sorry, you guys, this is such a hot mess today. I love vintage textures. I use the crackle stamp on virtually everything, either the small or the large. But on this piece, I really love the idea of taking the scratchy one, and I'm actually going to use my brayer. And I'm going to use a little bit of white, and just to create that vintage look, but with a little bit of white underneath, rather than doing the black or the whatever. So I'm just using my brayer just to get a thin amount on there. Be good if I had a flat surface. And I'm just going to run it over top. You can see all where that beautiful detail is going to be. And then I'm just going to randomly stick it on. Look at this.
If I can come in close, you can see. Oh yeah.
Right? So it's just, and I'm changing the direction.
Yeah.
So it's not the same every time.
It's kind of scratchy.
Right? Old.
That really helps with the blending of the colored paint as well.
Yeah.
It just looks like it's happened over time.
There we go, right?
Oh, this is my new favorite one, I think.
I think we say that pretty much about everything that we try. Yeah. Okay, so again, the key here is I'm just twisting and adding different elements of it all the way. And I definitely want to get some down there, because then it's as if it's still behind what's coming next. All right, how fun is that? Right?
Beautiful.
Super, super fun. So again, I always say, if you don't have vintage textures, get it in your playbook. It's amazing. All right, I can come back and finish that later, but I want you to see what I'm doing, that technique. And then let's see if my hot glue gun is almost ready. So I am using Weld Bond, Tight Bond, great white glues for this type of thing. It's basically a thick white glue. And yeah, good. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to get most of this covered in glue. I like to make sure I've got all the way out to those edges. I use my finger because I'm a monster. No, you can use a paintbrush, use your finger, whatever you like. And here we go. Okay. A little bit extra. I don't like to have too much excess coming out the sides. So I tend to glue the center first and then work it out, so that I don't have a whole lot of gluey overlap. But the other side of it is that it's going to dry clear. So, and once I come in with dark wax behind things, you're not going to see it. Okay, so I'm just going to add a few little squiggles here just to make sure it's going to stay put. And we like him a little bit over. So there we go. Just making sure it has good contact. That little bit of ooze up here, I can just take a wet wipe or a dry paintbrush, and I can just remove that excess, right?
Do you remember the decoupage paper we had with the little kind of fairy? She's a...
Yes,
it was from
recycled. Yeah.
Is it? We could put a little fairy there by the door. We
totally could. The little nymph.
The little nymph.
The little nymph. Yes. Yeah. Oh, we might have to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So although this looks fairly completed, I'm just going to unplug this for a moment. In the next 10 seconds, a little bit more, I just want to show you how, again, I can deepen all of that detail with some waxes, okay? So I'm going to end up waxing my whole piece at the end. I want to make it a little bit moodier than it is right now. But in all of this detail, I'm going to start by clear waxing it. And what that does is it seals the paint that I've done so far onto the piece. Okay, so just a little bit of a clear wax. And then I'm going to rub back the excess where I don't have glue on the paper towel. Okay, I'm just going to rub back the excess. And because this one is done in the resin, I'm not damaging any of the details. If I had glued this on, done clay and glued it on, let it dry, again, I could be a little bit rough like this. But you do want to be careful if it's still wet. Alrighty? So now I'm going to come in with a brush and some dark wax. And I just want you to see, I mean, initially it's a little bit scary. What have you done? But I want you to see when I wipe it back. I'm really trying to work this into all of the details. And I'll come back and do more up there later, but just to give you the effect. Alrighty, so now when I take this and I rub back, it's not quite glued on there, it's gone into all of those details, and then it's made the details sort of pop. There you go. Now if I'm like, oh, it's a little bit too much, right?
Amazing.
It really does. I can come in with my clear on that top surface again and remove the surface dark.
Brick look amazing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay. So I'm going to come in later. Yeah, it really, look how, I mean, you see every little bit of detail. And look where I've just added some of that green. It certainly looks like moss, and it's, you know, a little bit of fun. And then because I'm crazy and y'all love me, I love a little bit of gold gilding wax.
All right.
So let's just put some on here. A little bit on those little, and I'm going to run, because I can, just a little bit along there. Look at that.
Wow, it just makes it look like it's a knocker.
Right? There you go. And just a little bit of fun just because. So I'm going to come in and finish it off, and I'll definitely have a, we're probably going to use our little froggy that we made earlier. I'm going to just show you that quickly. So there they are, right? Totally cured, rock hard. I can snap it right out. And look at all the detail. Okay, so whether we use the frog or, well, maybe even we use the dragonfly up here. Anyway, we'll see. I'm not sure if I need a little bit of something up there, but we're going to bring it all together. Again, today, what we used the vintage textures with some paint to create all this scratchy yummy goodness. We used birds from, there's so many transfers with birds. This one is current. I think this was a Christmas one. I'm not even sure. So keep your pieces, right? And just have some fun with it. This is the money shot. This beautiful rose chintz paint inlay. We did the stamps, the branches, I believe it is. I'm going to make sure that we have that correct. We've used the mushrooms from Millet's pages. And look at these molds. So beautiful. I'm super excited to get this one finished. And thank you again for watching, taking your time to be with us. I'm so grateful. I am on every month, the second Thursday at 1 o'clock. So I hope to see you next month. And until then, enjoy the sun, get outside, and get some paint and some transfers and some beautiful IOD products. Find a stockist near you. Again, go to ironorchiddesigns.com. And if you're ever in the Langley BC area, come see us. We'd love to see you. We're here at the Passionate Home, and we're all things fun. So love to see you.